Don't give me hope. Don't give me hope, people. Welcome back to Orange Hat Reviews. Hope you're all having a wonderful day. So, Alec Baldwin could be charged again in Rust case as report finds trigger was pulled. I mean, there was that FBI report that determined that the trigger was pulled, but hey, let's get into it, folks. Maybe he might actually face some sort of justice. Alec Baldwin could once again face manslaughter charges after a forensic report released Tuesday found that his Colt .45 revolver would only fire if the trigger was pulled. Deja vu, the FBI already did an investigation on that revolver. But Baldwin was initially charged with involuntary manslaughter in October 2021, deaths of cinematographer Halyna Hutchins. But the charges were dropped after the defense noted that the gun had been modified, which raised doubts on whether it was working properly at the time of the shooting. Baldwin has denied that he had pulled the trigger. Hutchins, 42, was killed after being struck with a live round on the set of the film Rust near Santa Fe, New Mexico. Special prosecutors on the case, Carrie Morrissey and Jason Lewis, commissioned a new forensic examination of the gun and have been waiting for the results before deciding whether to refile the charges. The report by Lucien and Michael Haig, or I don't know, was submitted to them earlier this month and released Tuesday in a public court filing. Well, this is interesting. The experts reconstructed the gun, which had been broken during earlier testing by the FBI, and concluded that it could only have been fired by a pull of the trigger. This fatal incident was the consequence of the hammer being manually retracted to its fully rearward and cocked position, followed at some point by the pull of a rearward depression of the trigger, the report concluded. Although Alec Baldwin repeatedly denies pulling the trigger, given the tests, findings, and observations reported here, the trigger had to be pulled or depressed sufficiently to release the fully cocked or retracted hammer of the evidence revolver. Meaning, folks, he pulled that trigger. There is no other way that gun could have gone off, not even by the lie he told about fanning it. That wouldn't have worked. The hammer had to have been fully pulled back, and he would have had to have pulled the trigger to fire that weapon. That is the only way it would have fired. And it is now evidenced that that is the only act, or with evidence to back it up. Prosecutors have previously stated that Baldwin will be charged again if the gun works properly. If it is determined that the gun did not malfunction, charges against Mr. Baldwin will proceed, they wrote in a filing in June. However, Baldwin has not been charged again, and it remains unclear if he will be. Morrissey said in an email on Thursday afternoon that there will be a formal announcement of the decision. I expect that decision to be forthcoming, she wrote. Hannah Gutierrez-Reed, the film's armorer, is facing a trial in December on charges of involuntary manslaughter and evidence tampering. She has maintained through her attorneys that Seth Kenney, weapon supplier, was responsible for mixing live rounds into a batch of dummies. In addition to the fatal round, 5 other live rounds were also found on the set. The forensic experts were also tasked with attempting to figure out the source of the live rounds. However, all they were able to conclude, according to the report, was that the rounds were dissimilar to other rounds seized from Kenney by investigators weeks after the shooting. So they were dissimilar, meaning the round that killed her did not match rounds that were collected from Kenney's batch of rounds. So yeah, Hannah Gutierrez-Reed is lying. Or doesn't know that she's lying. The report also found that there were 4 different kinds of dummy rounds on set. Some rattled when they were shaken, indicating that they were not capable of being fired. Others had a hole in the side, while others lacked a primer. The report found that the live rounds could be distinguished from those types of dummies, either by rattling them or by noticing a lack of a hole. And that is the report as of today. It seems that the rust incident may indeed continue. Folks, I am hoping that this does happen and that there is justice for Halyna Hutchins, and it will go a long way in reinvigorating the public trust in the justice system if Alec Baldwin does be found guilty of this crime and does the time required in prison. That is a requirement for the public trust to be regained by a very, right now, corrupt justice system that is doing all sorts of bullshit in many different theaters of trials. Anyway, folks, that is the video. I just wanted to get this out to you guys. I got another one on Rachel Ziegler coming out later because apparently she has played victim from the backlash. But yeah, y'all know the drill. Like, comment, subscribe, share, all that jazz. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. What do you think? Do you think that he should be charged if the gun has now fully proven that it could only have fired by a pull of the trigger? Or do you think that they should just drop it and let sleeping dogs lie? Let me know all your thoughts down in the comment section below, folks. This has been Orange Hat Reviews. Have a wonderful day, and always remember, stay humble.